Brad, you've been through this numerous times through the years when you lose a significant part of your lineup short notice due to illness. What sort of resolve does that create with your group, and did you see it in the first period, or did it not just arrive for you in the second tonight?
Well, we talked about how it was good for our team, you know, where guys have to step up in different roles and different responsibilities. We just looked a little behind the play in the first period. The penalty kill, you know, the shorthanded goal seemed to give us some life, and the crowd got into it, and before you know it, we're up 3-2. So it usually is a good thing to go through. Adversity is good, especially when you come out on the good end of the result. But it sure didn't look that good in the first 20 minutes.
Brad, how much energy did the team get from Cam's shorthanded goal? That seemed to really spark things.
Yeah, well, I thought we came out with a checking mindset there in the second period. I thought we gave them too much, not easy ice, but open ice. You know, their defensemen skated it from their end to our end probably a half dozen times in that first period, and that's not our game. That's not how we have success. And I thought we came out on our toes again to start the second period, and it happened to be a penalty kill and a real good read in the top of the zone with Cam and Wenny, and then both guys are offensively gifted, and they take a play that doesn't look great until it's in the back of the net. So it was a huge lift. The bench, you know, everybody had a little more zip after that.
Over here. We talked about yesterday with the depth scoring that you guys have had this season. Was this sort of the perfect example or perfect situation for that to kind of take over and win a game? It had 5 guys with a goal and assist tonight. Yeah,
I think it's a great example of it. You know, I thought we were going to have success by making them play in their own zone in the third period, and it turned out we scored 4 rush chance goals. So, you know, how you think you're going to have success sometimes doesn't always match up to what happens on the ice. But, you know, it was great to see the Hannakainen line. You know, again, they take a rush that's not looking too promising until it's in the back of the net. So those are always great when you can find a way to make them work like that.
Dubinsky, you know, had the really good start to the season, then was out for several weeks. What have you seen since he's bounced back in the lineup and the way that he's playing right now?
Well, I think his goal is a good example of what he offers for our team. That hard-nosed, simple sort of attacking mindset. You know, Torts loves to use him in defensive face-offs, which gets him plugged into the game a lot more than the average player. So, you know, on a shift count, he's probably the highest shift count guy on our team. It wouldn't be the highest minute guy, but you know, his tenacity and will at the puck is his best strength, and that's how he scored his goals before he got hurt, how he got his points. And the goal tonight was another great example. You know, it wasn't a very pretty play until we get a heavy stick on a puck close to the net, and they can't stop it. So it's a good indicator.
Brad, how gratifying was it for coaching staff and his line mates and everything else to see Hannakainen get that goal as hard as he's worked to get into the lineup and stay in the lineup?
Yeah, he had that couple of game stretch where he made some good offensive plays on the passing end. But he's a guy that drives the net, and it's exactly what he did on that play. It was a nice poise by Dalpe to find him and sort of settle the puck down. And then, you know, Hanny, you don't see too many slap shots from the top of the blue paint there, but he somehow got one off and sort of powered it right through him. But, you know, it ends up being the winning goal, and that's great for him because there's nobody that works harder, and he's been patient when he's been out of the lineup. He's been a good soldier, and you know, the whole bench was smiling when he put that one in.
But where's Alexander Wennberg's game? We see the points here in the short term, but is his game emerging as you see it? Is he back to where you're getting on the way to where you want him to be?
Well, I think he's in a little sort of an unassuming, quiet way, inching to where we'd like him to be, and I think where he'd like to be as well. You know, he wants to contribute offensively. I love the questions he asks on the bench. I get to talk to the forwards now, and he asked one where in the third period about a checking angle, and a lot of the guys in our team wouldn't kind of even pay much attention to it. But he was asking, is that okay? How he angled Mulligan. He had no chance really to get the puck, but he made him move laterally. He slowed the attack down. His route takes him back to good ice. It's a really heady hockey play, and that's, to me, what he does best is he thinks the game. He can outthink it a little bit. He can overthink it. But when he's really sharp, he's a tough guy to win one-on-ones against, and not in a physical sense. And he made 3 or 4 outstanding plays on the penalty kill, just sensing when he had, to pressure the guy was the exact right time and how to do it and where should your stick be. And we reap the benefits. The puck clears the zone or it gets down the ice, and that's the kind of stuff he can do. It's if you don't really know the game that well, if you're not really a real details guy, you might not notice a lot of the good stuff he does. And we try and see it. We try and catch him doing things well so that we can sort of pump his tires too and help him along that road to find his best game.
What was it like on the bench in the second period during that sequence where Korpisalo made all those seeing eye saves and all that kind of stuff?
Well, it was a little hairy. It's not, from a coaching point of view, it's not what you want to be giving up. But we had 2 different D pair out there. We had a split line, so you had some guys that are tired. They weren't some of them weren't the prettiest saves, but he found a way to keep it out of the net. And I thought it was great how the crowd responded. You don't often see a standing O in the middle of a second period for a goalie, but he merited it. He was, I didn't like the goal that goes in on the penalty kill on the ice, but you think back to some of the saves he made before and after that. He's a big reason why we win that game, and that flurry to keep the puck out of the net at that point. That could be the turning point in the game. So, good for him. Good for stepping up.
Thank you.